Hi everyone, welcome to my video today. Today I'm feeling really angry and disappointed in our government of the UK. And yes, because of my autism, I do tend to see things in black and white, and I do analyse wording particularly that is not clear. That's just my superpower. So, as everyone is probably aware by now about this new coronavirus, COVID-19 is a new illness that can affect your lungs and airways, and it's caused by a virus called coronavirus. So, who is Rachel? This is Rachel. Rachel has Rett syndrome. Rett syndrome is a rare genetic disorder that affects brain development, resulting in mental and physical disability. Who are Reverse Rett? Reverse Rett are a charity in the UK dedicated to changing the lives of children and adults with Rett syndrome. They believe that change is not only possible, but it is within reach. In 2007, Reverse Rett successfully reversed Rett in the lab. They knew that a cure was possible. They are now entering a final era in which trials are beginning, and they are building the clinical capacity to deliver effective treatments. So again, who is Rachel? Rachel is a daughter, a sister, an auntie, a cousin, a friend. Rachel is loving and kind. Rachel loves to go out and visit different places. Rachel loves to dance and listen to music. Rachel gets sick sometimes, just like everyone else, and then she does recover, like other people. Rachel enjoys fundraising for Rett UK towards finding a cure so that she can do all of the things that we take for granted. Something that Rachel is very good at is teaching people to have empathy and be kind to others. Rachel helps people understand diversity and be more understanding as human beings. NICE, the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, spelled N-I-C-E, NICE, although not so much in this case. The COVID-19 Rapid Guideline, Critical Care in Adults, NICE Guideline NG 159, last updated March 2020. On admission to hospital, assess all adults for frailty, irrespective of COVID-19 status. Use the Clinical Frailty Scale, CFS, available from the NHS Specialised Clinical Frailty Network as part of an all-around assessment where appropriate. Be aware of the limitations of using the CFS as the sole assessment of frailty. The Clinical Frailty Scale is to support decision making. Local commissioners and providers of healthcare have a responsibility to enable the guideline to be applied when an individual, professionals and people using the services wish to use it. They should do so in the context of local and national priorities for funding and developing services, and in light of their duties to have due regard to the need to eliminate unlawful discrimination, eliminate unlawful discrimination, to advance equality of opportunity, to advance equality of opportunity, and to reduce health inequalities, and to reduce health inequalities. So the purpose of the frailty, hope I'm saying that right, scale is to identify patients who are at increased risk of poor outcomes and who may not benefit from critical care interventions. And this is based on age, so 90 or over, or the elderly in general, people with disabilities. There's a scale of different levels, so 1, 2 and 3 maybe at the moment isn't too bad, but further down people just don't seem to have a chance. So this is also in relation to go back to eliminate unlawful discrimination, to advance equality of opportunity, and to reduce health inequalities. I'm like, I don't know if it's just me, but that seems really, really contradicting. So, section 3.3, stop critical care treatment when it is no longer considered able to achieve the desired overall goals, so the outcomes, and record the decision and the discussion with the family and carers of the patient and the patient, if possible, or an independent mental capacity advocate, if appropriate. So, if possible and if appropriate, these are just words to make this sound better than it is. It's not better, and it won't be possible because the family member or carer or advocate isn't allowed to be present in the hospital, obviously because of the virus, which needs to change because that's unfair. If you're saying that these things could be taken into consideration, but then it's not really going to be possible, and then when there is an unfortunate outcome, then if possible or if appropriate, it's just going to turn into, oh, well, it wasn't possible and it wasn't appropriate. But these people are family members and friends, and it's just really scary. So if possible and if appropriate is not definite. It's not definite, it's not clear, and none of this information is in easy read. These words, if possible, if appropriate, they're just words used to make these actions more flexible in law. It needs to be definite, and everyone needs to have the same rights. I mean, on this frailty scale, it's all vulnerable people, vulnerable adults, and there's no one in that list who is a rapist or paedophiles or murderers. Those people will all get ventilators and critical care over these vulnerable people who've done nothing wrong ever. They're just innocent people, and because they're different or older, it's like they're just being written off, and it's not right. I mean, so imagine you're a person and you don't speak English. English isn't even your second language, or you're deaf and you need BSL, an interpreter who isn't going to be there. How are these people supposed to defend themselves and fight for their own lives in a hospital where people should be fighting their lives for them because they have the equipment and the expertise, the knowledge? And then there's a set of rules that says no, these people are vulnerable, they have disabilities, there is over a certain age limit. I thought it was 2020. Why is this still going on? Section 4.5. Decisions about the use of critical care resources should only be made by or with the support of healthcare professionals with expert knowledge and skills in critical care. Well, that's all fair enough, but in general, when my sister, Rachel, attends a GP appointment or, just a hospital outpatient appointment, these people don't know what Rett syndrome is. They ask her questions and then why is she not responding? And it's just, there's not enough experience in the healthcare sector. There just isn't the option to have any of that. I mean, in appointments, doctors have, held back from touching my sister because she's not got a disease. It's Rett syndrome, and it's been cured in mice in the lab, and they will cure it one day. So half the time, they didn't even touch my sister in a general checkup, never mind a global pandemic. All of the NHS is completely rushed off its feet. How is there going to be time to communicate with a family member or carer about the scoring system if these people aren't present? These people aren't going to be present with the sick, vulnerable person. There isn't time within the NHS, there is no equality, there is no equal access to healthcare, and I want this to change right now. Paedophiles and murderers can access critical care if they get this virus, but not if you have a disability, if you are frail, vulnerable, or the elderly. Welcome to 2020, everyone. We need this to change. We need equality. We need access and we need inclusion. We need leaders of this country who actually have lived experience, who can put these things forward to the government, because at the minute they all just live a completely separate life. They have no idea what it's like to be an actual human being living in this world. They have no experience of any of these things. They have no knowledge. It's just, they're just the weaker people who just, they don't deserve this. That's what it feels like. It's like these people aren't good enough to have treatment when they're sick. It's how can you sleep at night knowing that you made a decision? You actually sat down and thought, okay, who can we just write off, save a bit of money, save some stronger people? I just don't know how you can even let yourself make that decision. So I really hope someone watches this video who actually has power and really tries to do something about this before it's too late.